What is up, football fans out there watching and listening? Guys, what is up? The Green Bay Packers, they finally get a win. They break that 4-game losing streak and get a win. In this video, I want to talk about how important this win is over the Rams and why this win means more than it probably should for the Green Bay Packers. Before I get into all of that, guys, take a second to subscribe. Okay, so here's the thing. I think we can all agree, whether you are part of a company or have been a part of a company that maybe they're going under or whatever. It's becoming a toxic environment. Same thing with sports, whether you've coached or been a part of a team as an athlete that they're under duress. Bottom line is, when your back is against the wall, people's normal response is to get defensive, to start blame shifting, pointing fingers, not looking at themselves as maybe part of the problem and trying to come up with a solution. I think we can all agree the Green Bay Packers over the last 4 weeks, they've been a complete dumpster fire. And it's been so tough to evaluate the Packers properly. Is the problem coming from the quarterback, Jordan Love? Is it coming from Gutekunst and, approaching the trade deadline? Did he make the right moves? All of that stuff. Has he done the right things? Matt LaFleur, Joe Barry, you name it. Okay. The Green Bay Packers, it was an ugly win. Nonetheless, it was a win. What did Bleacher Report have to say about Jordan Love and his performance in the Green Bay Packers? They wrote, Love didn't perform like a top-tier signal caller against the Rams, but he took a few positive strides. The 25-year-old had thrown 7 interceptions over the last 4 games. He had his first turnover-free game since week 2. He showed good rapport with his receivers, including Christian Watson, who secured a 37-yard reception that helped set up a touchdown in the fourth quarter. Watson and Love failed to connect on a deep ball earlier in the game, but the Packers went back to it and succeeded. Jordan Love was quoted for saying, for me, really a confidence booster to go out there and make that play. It was exactly what we needed. Love finished an efficient 20 of 26, 228 yards and a touchdown. Again, no picks. It wasn't the sort of game that defines Love as the guy, but it certainly is a step in the right direction. Here's the thing. Green Bay Packers get a win. And it's almost like the organization and the Packers can take a deep breath. Okay. So all of the sudden, your backs are not against the wall, and you've got time to now prepare for this Pittsburgh Steelers rather than being defensive and coming up with all these excuses and pointing fingers and all of this stuff. The Green Bay Packers can take a deep breath, and we can finally take a second to evaluate, is Jordan Love going to be our guy? Okay. So this is going to be a perfect step in the right direction, this win, because we can evaluate, hey, is Matt LaFleur going to continue to give the ball to Aaron Jones, which is then going to open up stuff? Is Matt LaFleur going to be completely conservative still and only allow Jordan Love to pass like 10 yards down the field at best? All of that stuff, because if so, Matt LaFleur is the problem. Okay, so I know you might be saying, dude, listen, Matt LaFleur is the problem. Brian Gutekunst is the problem. Jordan Love is not the guy, all of that stuff. But it's going to give us a second to be able to evaluate the Packers a little bit more through the lens that we need to, rather than through the dumpster fire that they've been and pointing the finger at every direction. Because here's the thing. The problem has got to glaringly be obvious coming from one particular situation. And this win is going to help them figure out where's the problem coming from. At the end of the day, there were a lot of mistakes. And what I mean by that, the couple of turnovers that they had, the missed field goal ending the first half, penalties on 4th and short where the quarterback sneaks and we were offsides. There was a lot of penalties, and there continues to be a lot of penalties with this team. Super frustrating. Rashawn Gary had a really good performance, but then he had those couple of penalties. A couple of good things to note. Carrington Valentine stepped up, man. He looked so good. Jonathan Owens looked good. Carl Brooks looked good. Their young guys look super good, and we know that they've got some talent there. So here's the highlight of the game for me. Here is where I think Packers need to be looking to. Matt LaFleur needs to be continuing to implement this, and it's super frustrating that they don't do it more often. But here's the highlight of the game for me.
The Packers, they're meeting for the 4th time as friends, colleagues, and now enemies. Here comes the end around for Jaden Reed. And a good
highlight of the game for me by far, because They give the ball to Jaden Reed. They give it to his speedster. Luke Musgrave and Jaden Reed need to be more a part of the offense than continuously what they are, right? They're only getting targeted like 3 times a game. They need to be more a part of the offense. Same thing with Aaron Jones, all of those guys, because it's going to open up. If you noticed on that play, the blocking, everything was perfectly, it was perfectly done by the offense. Matt LaFleur, to me, has got to prove himself, and he continuously seems to be the problem for me because the play calling has been suspect at best. They only put up 7 points again at the end of the first half. Guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comments. Go Pack.